Okay, so today we're going to kind of shift gears a little bit. Um, we're going to dive into this idea of heaven's melody,
Mm.
but not like like a top 40 hit or anything. More like the everyday sound that we hear and that maybe we start to take for granted
Yeah.
and, until they're gone.
The soundtrack to our lives.
Yeah, exactly. The sound.
The ones we don't even realize are soundtracks until they stop playing.
Right.
And the lyrics of Heaven's Melody really capture that beautifully right from the start.
Yeah.
I heard you singing at my window a song of his redeeming love. Each day the melody kept ringing a peaceful tune from up above. It's just such a vivid picture.
Yeah, and it makes me think about the bird
Yeah.
almost becomes this symbol of something reassuring.
Yeah.
Like it's constant.
Yeah, this constant presence, this comforting presence.
And there's this line, his redeeming love,
Right.
which I thought was really interesting. It's not just any bird.
Yeah.
It's a bird that's singing a divine message.
Imbued with this kind of spiritual significance from the get-go, right? This isn't just birdsong. This is something that the songwriter is perceiving as, almost like a message from a higher power.
Exactly. And, it makes me think about, like, how we perceive the world around us.
Right.
Do we see these everyday occurrences as just random events?
Yeah.
Or is there some deeper meaning behind it?
Yeah, that's the question, isn't it? It's the question that, philosophers and theologians have been grappling with for centuries.
Right.
And I think what this song does so well is tap into this very fundamental human desire to find meaning in those everyday experiences, to connect with something beyond the material world.
Exactly. And then the song kind of takes this turn.
Yeah.
The next lines are, but now the beautiful tune of heaven is fading in my listening ears. The starling has flown away to heaven, swept away by the wings of love. And there's this sense of loss, this shift from comfort to absence.
Absolutely. There's a real poignancy that enters the song at this point.
Yes.
And what I find so interesting is that the songwriter chose a starling, which is, a very, very common bird.
Right.
It's not some exotic or rare species. It's a bird that many of us probably see
every day.
Every day, multiple times a day, and don't even think twice about it. Just as we might not fully appreciate that bird song until it's gone, we often don't realize the preciousness of life, the importance of those everyday moments until they're taken from us.
Yeah.
And it's a really powerful message, I think.
It is.
In a very poignant way, I think.
Right.
And it's almost like the songwriter is using the starling, as a metaphor for the human soul. In the song it says that the starling is swept away by the wings of love.
Right.
And for people of faith, that could be interpreted as, ascending to heaven.
That's a really interesting connection. So the bird, which we see as like a symbol of the everyday, the ordinary, it also becomes like this symbol of something transcendent, something that connects us to a higher realm.
It's that duality that I think makes the song so powerful. It takes something that's seemingly so mundane, so everyday, and elevates it to this kind of spiritual level.
And it's not just the bird.
Right.
It's the person who was hearing the bird, who's appreciating its tune of heaven. They're also kind of being elevated as well.
Exactly. There's this implied closeness, this intimacy with the divine. At my window,
right.
This is a song that is being sung specifically for the listener.
It's a very personal experience.
It is.
And it makes me think about this idea, of God's listening ear. We often talk about, praying to God, trying to reach him.
Right.
But what if God is also listening for us, for those who are kind of attuned to his presence?
That's a beautiful way to put it. It's, instead of us trying to get God's attention, it's God already being there and present and listening and waiting for us to, recognize him.
And maybe that recognition comes through, these everyday melodies, through these simple beauties of nature that we often take for granted.
Perhaps that's why, the loss of the bird, the fading of that tune of heaven, feels so profound in the song. It's not just the absence of a pleasant sound. It's the loss of a connection. It's a disruption of that spiritual harmony.
Like losing a part of yourself that was, attuned to something bigger.
Exactly. And that loss can be especially difficult to process when it's, sudden and unexpected.
It kind of invites us to sit with that discomfort.
Yeah.
To acknowledge the emptiness, but then Also to open ourselves to the possibility of healing, of finding solace, in faith, in memory, in the enduring power of love.
And the choice of imagery is just so powerful. The
Yeah.
starling, an ordinary bird, but now suddenly, it has this profound significance.
Right.
The wings of love, this force that carries us through those dark times. Those images, they resonate on such a visceral level.
It's like it uses those simple everyday images to create this bridge between the tangible world and the realm of the spiritual, the unknown.
Yeah.
It invites us to think about those mysteries of life and death
Yeah.
without offering those easy answers.